Oh, and what is up, YouTube? We are 10 days, 3 hours, 14 minutes, and 10 seconds away from PoE Delve League dropping. I am G3 Iron, and of course we are doing our countdown daily. And today we've got a bunch of stuff to take a look at that's coming in 3.0. So hopefully, or sorry, 3.4. So hopefully you're just as stoked as I am. First off, we're going to break this down into basically two sections in today's video. So first off, we're going to talk about the video and graphical quality of life stuff that they're working on that's going to be released attached with Delve, as well as some mapping and drop quality of life. So we'll chat about both of those things. So first off, here is a visual revamp of old skills. So just take a look at this. One of the few areas of PoE that has still really old effects is the early attack skills. Double Strike, Frenzy, Heavy Strike, and Cleave are some of the first attacks you see as a new player, but they look very dated. Yeah, that's putting it mildly. In 3.4.0, we have massively improved our trail tech, which has allowed us to make much better versions of these skills. We also have improved the default wand attack. In addition, we have revisited a few other skills in order to improve their performance. Ice Nova and Caustic Arrow have both received new art, which runs a lot faster. Check out these improvements by watching the video below. So let's take a look. This is what Cleave looks like. Definitely actually looks like you're cleaving something now rather than just like flailing at the air. It should have been called Flail, not Cleave. Double Strike, this is really awesome with the trailing effect. How it leaves behind kind of this glow. It's pretty cool. You actually can see the X that it makes. Heavy Strike, love the wind-up animation, and then as it hits. And Caustic Arrow, wow, it actually looks like there's a bile pit that emerges from the explosion of the Caustic Arrow, which is nice that it actually looks like a graphic that's happening in the description of the ability. Oh, that almost looked electric, the wand attack. Oh, here's Frenzy. Nice. It's got a little green trail behind it. Default wand attack with Frenzy. Oh no, that was the range wand attack with Frenzy. Bow attack with Frenzy. Looks nice. Ooh, Ice Nova. That looks pretty awesome. Yeah, that's an awesome looking effect. And not just the shattering, but the actual effect of the explosion. All right, so that is a revamp of the old skills. So that's the first thing. They are clearly, the team at GGG is clearly working on those old skills, and it looks like it. Now, the next thing is lights and shadows. So let's take a look. Alongside the Delve League, we're introducing graphical enhancements that significantly improve how Path of Exile looks. There are two main rendering algorithms that we've implemented to achieve this: screen space, point light shadows, and screen space global illumination. Check out the video to see how it looks. Now this video, just so that way you know, looks really awesome. Down here they've got a bunch of the more technical stuff that's going on, but we're just going to take a look at the video and you can see the before and after. It's really stark, the contrast. Without point light shadows, you run past a light point, and with point light shadows you run past it and you actually can see the shadow moving in the opposite direction of the light, because of course the light is actually generating the source for where your shadow comes from. Now here's an example with Scorching Ray, which right now doesn't provide any light, and with global illumination, look at that, you actually can see based on Scorching Ray, which makes sense. It's Scorching Ray, like it is a bunch of burning light that you are firing in a channeled direction. It should light up a room. Oh man. Here is the new arrow ability, the channeled ability, which looks awesome, and you can also see they're picking some of these monsters that are firing their abilities. And you can see that there's also light and shadows coming off of those abilities. There's Molten Strike right there. There's shadows and light that's generated by Molten Strike. It looks really cool. Oh, nice Static Strike. That looks great. Yeah. The lightning coming down from above, and then as it splits out, and how the shadows and the light dings off the walls. You see how it's bouncing off the walls, like the light. And then this ambient occlusion effect. This is pretty cool. I never even knew there was like tattoos and shadows, and like that in the center of that room, right here is even, it even has animation on it. Like I had never noticed that before, but this really highlights it for me. I don't know why, but for some reason it does. Anyway, so GGG is clearly working on some visual effects. Now, for those of you that already want to whine and complain and critique this and be like, "Wah, this isn't Delve League stuff. This is just animation and graphics." Well, graphics are a pretty big deal. When I first started playing PoE, one of the first reasons why I actually didn't leave from the Act 1 town after completing the Strand, the Twilight Strand. I completed it, went to town, and then town just looked like crap at that point. Lines I watched back in 2013 looked terrible. And I was in the midst of playing Diablo 3, and very simply, I simply looked at Diablo 3's graphics and the ease on my eyes and went, this is way better than PoE. Now, granted, PoE was an indie company. Granted, PoE didn't have the years of development experience and design and artistic experience that Blizzard had in 2013, and so I just went back and played Diablo 3. Well, now I really honestly think that with these visual improvements, we're actually starting to see how PoE is maybe, I mean, they're not going to rival Blizzard with their graphics, but we can start to see that this is a video game that is growing on an expansion by expansion basis with its mechanics, but it's also growing with its graphics and its art and its level of detail, which is always really, really nice to see. Again, as you're looking at the Static Strike, look at how it lights up against the walls here. Like, that's something that would have never been here a couple years ago. Even a year ago, we never would have thought, oh yeah, let's get some shadows in here and let's really immerse ourselves in the graphics of the game. And this is something that GGG is now able to do. They're able to pump out. So I'm very excited about these graphical updates. You may not be graphics fanboy. You may not be, oh, I play games for graphics. And that's fine. I don't think any of us come to PoE because of the graphics. But a lot of us have come to PoE because of the dark theme, because of the immense amount of replayability. And healthy, great-looking graphics add to that replayability. They are a bonus. They are a perk. And it's nice to see that GGG is paying attention to that. Okay, so we said two different parts to this particular video. So the graphical quality of life buffs, and then also some drop quality of life buffs here. So in 3.4, this was an announcement made by Chris. In 3.4, you can specify minimap icons for items in item filters. So now you can never miss an Exalt drop. All right, so there was a big stink a couple of months ago about people taking data from the GGG servers, and this was totally against the total violation of the terms of service. But people were taking data from GGG side servers and reading it and running it through programs so that they could then read maps and read drops and see things on the mini-map that ought not to otherwise be seen. Well, now in 3.4, GGG is saying, look, the reason why we didn't want you to do that is because we're actually working on that. We're actually releasing the ability to do this so that way it's an even playing field for everybody. You'll be able to see what drops and you'll be able to denote it, which is awesome. Have you ever been in a mapping party or in a group play party and you hear something drop? Maybe you're on permanent allocation or semi-permanent allocation. You go, oh, something dropped, but where is it? Because maybe the DPS of the party that's pulling the party is way out farther in advance of everybody. Or maybe somebody else went down a side path on the map that the rest of the party didn't go down and nobody knows. Hey, whose is that and where did it drop? Well, now you'll actually be able to have a visual indicator on the map. That's the first thing. The second thing that I'd like to know is, do you see how this is the grayed out map? This is not the mini map in the top right. This is the tabbed map that acts as an overlay over top of your main screen, the main UI of your character, which is awesome. That means that you're going to be able to see in relationship to yourself, even scrolled out on the entirety of the map, like where is the drop in relationship to you. Now, we don't know what the rules are to this. We don't know if you have to be in certain proximity to it, etc. But if it acts like a item drop does, then if there's a sound that would play for it, because you killed it, then it's also going to show up on the map, which means stuff that drops around corners, or if you're using specters or zombies or golems or minions or totems, and it goes and it blows something up that you otherwise wouldn't see, now you're going to see it. That is huge quality of life, and I'm so thankful that GGG, again, is working on this and communicating that they're working on it for us in Delve. So, if you're not stoked for Delve, if you're not hyped for all of these different quality of life stuff, go play another game. Because us here at G3, we're hype, we're stoked, and we are 10 hours, 3 hours, 5 minutes exactly away from Delve League.